Albert A. Wall, the voice of the jungle, broadcasting on the DVC to all points unknown. If you're within the sound of my voice, you're listening to Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Hello and welcome home. Thank you for joining us on episode 201 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. I'm Tom. I'm here with Trevor and Damon. What's up, guys?
Hey. 201's a letdown.
It's why? Because it's not 200 anymore?
And it's not 250. I mean, is 250 a big deal? So what's a bigger deal, 250 or 300?
I mean, we did a celebration at 150, so it seems like we're celebrating at the 50s, right?
Yeah, we can do every 50.
I mean, we can do every 25 if we want to. We can do 10. So, you know.
No, we're not.
Is this like couples celebrating month anniversaries? Is that what that is?
We're not doing the weird 3-month anniversary things at this point. It's too far gone.
Fair. That's fair. So Damon, you want to do 250? We're going to do another extravaganza.
I mean, 250 just seems like, it's $250,000. I think that's a bigger deal than 300. I mean, what's 300? 300 to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I think really what happens is I think it goes 250 and then 500.
Well, that's going to take us forever to get to 500. That's
yeah, but
we just got to 200.
But that's how it goes. I feel
it took a long time to get here.
Yeah,
shockingly long time. I mean, there are shows that started like years after us that are like already past 200 because they. Well, when we initially started the show, we did it every other week for like a long time, right? So
yeah, and
the good old days. I mean,
to be fair,
you just can't keep up with the news. I liked it better every 2 weeks, but you can't keep up.
Yeah,
no, it becomes a little too far behind. And then those people that are doing it multiple times a week, like you're also not getting an hour plus of
that's true.
Of a show.
Well,
it's
not only that, but like you're dedicating your whole life to doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Like, nah.
Yeah. If we did like 30-minute episodes 3 times a week or something,
it would be impossible for me.
Yeah.
But that's actually a lot more work than people realize.
I think that I'm going to tell you once that there's an app for the phone, way easier for me in general. It's going to be like, dude, I'm never going to be at home anymore doing the podcast. I'm going to be everywhere. It's going to be great. It's going to be, I'm going to be like Uncle Traveling Max. Like, it's going to be the best. Is it Max or Matt? Whoa, Fraggle Rock. It's Max, right?
Is it Max? Oh,
I can't.
Shoot, now I need to look.
Or is it
up.
Matt?
I thought it was Matt. I thought it was Uncle Traveling Matt.
Well, that's why I'm asking.
That actually reminds me, Damon. I meant to ask you if you watched the. Did you watch the stop motion Mickey? Mickey.
I watched some of it.
Plus?
I thought, I really liked the. I really liked the fake CGI stop motion. Like I definitely got behind that. To be honest with you,
it looks really good. I thought,
it did, but the story was blah, right? Like that's where it kind of fell for me. Like the story was a little blah, but. I mean, there was also a Fraggle Rock one. I don't know. So, they kind of HBO Max is redoing Fraggle Rock. What is it called? Something with the Rock. Okay. Well, they had Back to the Rock. Yeah. So they had a Christmas Lights episode. It was called something Lights. They had a holiday sort of episode, which was okay as well. I tried the new reindeer one also. There's a new reindeer one that was on CBS. I don't remember what it was. It was with definitely a lot of famous voice people. That one I haven't finished yet, but my daughter and wife were kind of not in on it. I think I was a little bit more in on it than they were, but I think we'll finish that. And we still haven't done the new Christmas Story, which is on our list. We've been doing the Christmas Light Fight.
Oh, okay.
So which gets was it season 10?
Like the reality competition is where they
So I think they're on season 10. And it got a little bit repetitive in general, right? Because, I mean, how much can you do? But there's one that was this week. So that was last week. So it will be the past week once this airs. That was really good. It was by a guy that does computer animation. And it was really, really cool. That one was worth watching.
Well, doesn't one of our listeners do like the crazy house projection thing? I seem to remember that from last year.
Maybe.
Because I think they messaged me saying they could do it for me if I wanted to do it. But yeah, who was that? We definitely someone posted a video to our group last year of like a really cool Christmas thing on their house. Am I imagining this?
No, I don't think so, but I just don't remember. So I guess the only other thing at the start of the episode is, dude, buy shirts before they're gone. When do we say shirts are gone? Like next week, man.
I think we said at the end of this week, right?
Yeah. So shirts are gone, man. Get your shirts and hoodies. And I'm starting to buy into not the fanny pack, but I really want to get one of those. What are those?
A side pouch?
No, what do they call them? The Euro man purse thingies that man bag. Yeah, so they're
where it goes like up on your shoulder kind of thing, like
yes,
almost on your chest. Yeah.
Yes.
I know what you're talking about.
But my wife said no, but I definitely would. I'm starting to buy into that as I go places, and I'm like, man, I just need a little bit more pocket space, or a little bit more secure pocket space. I feel like
interesting.
Yeah.
No, I trying to think. Yeah, I mean, I know those are becoming popular again. And I don't think we could. I mean, do you want a custom like welcome home one? Is that what you're looking for, Damon?
No. I feel like
just in general, you're looking for one.
Yes, I feel like if you're getting one of those, like to make it less kind of cringy, it's got to be like a nice one,
like leather and like really, it's got
and a
like
name brand. I feel like you kind of got to like rock something at least Coach level or up. I kind of feel like.
Okay.
So I mean, no magic sequins for you?
No. I mean, really, if I had like a Louis V one, that would be the best, but I'm just not going to put out money like that. But that's would be kind of what I'd be looking for.
I'm just imagining Damon with a bedazzled purse up on his chest.
Or I guess maybe like an Indiana Jones stylish sort of one, right? Like
a satchel?
The worn leather.
Satchel.
Yeah, satchel. Yeah.
That would be good too. I think I'm gonna start doing this and see how long it takes before I get some eyeballs on it.
Now I'm googling if you can. Like, it feels like Disney would like sell an Indiana Jones kind of satchel, right? Like, it feels like that would be a thing that they would sell, which, I just Googled and they don't. But what?
That would be good.
I bet they will after the next movie.
Yeah, maybe they will after the next movie. Although if you Google that, they exist out there. I mean, you can get them. Yeah.
Yeah, the new movie, like I hope it's good because I'm all about Indiana Jones, but
I thought the trailer looked pretty good, man. I yeah. I mean, and also, they did the whole part of like de-aging him, and like they've gotten like really good with that de-aging stuff because they're like it looks really legit.
They're getting to the Running Man point, and that's not good though.
Yeah,
that's scary, right?
No. Well, they did actually post something on one of their YouTube channels the other day about how they created it's like an AI powered like software tool that like does it automatically, where they used to have to like do a lot of work to de-age people, and now they can age people or de-age people like really easily. And
but that's not good though.
Great auto Instagram and filters on everything.
Well, I don't think it's meant for that. It's more for professional level, editing and VFX. But
it's still the same thing.
Yeah, no, it's
next level Instagram filters.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. It is next level Instagram filters. But yeah, no, they put out a video for that fairly recently, actually. I don't know why I didn't put that on the list. I think it happened while we were kind of off for Thanksgiving. So,
yeah, I mean, if we're gonna follow television movies, we would never get anything else done.
Well, that's true. Yeah,
we can talk about it here and there, but I just again, I don't know how much. Yeah. Even though I'll talk cartoons all day, but that being said,
I'll be honest.
Is at a different level, though. It's different.
I'll be honest. You were talking about all the Christmas shows, and I realized that I'm really far behind. And I'm gonna. My wife's gonna hear this at some point. She's gonna get mad at me because I always get on her for. She watches like or she's been defending it, saying the ones she's not watching are not like the Hallmark Channel ones, but she keeps watching these Christmas movies where I have a theory that there is a town somewhere that a movie production company bought that is like the backdrop for all of these movies, and they just cycle crews in, like they all get like a couple of weeks a year, and they film these movies because it seems like these movies are all like in the same place. They just change the actors.
Well, I feel like they're all the same thing too, right?
Yeah.
Like I swear there's a town somewhere like on like I feel like it would be in New Hampshire or something like that.
Well,
and
Discovery
it's just like
Plus does that too, and Food Network as well, right? Like it's like they all must rent the same place. I feel like
it's just all the same backlot somewhere.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing that's been interesting with Food Network kind of and Discovery Plus jumping in. So there's a fair amount of, I think there was 4 movies that they released this year, and they all have like Duff is in one of them. One of the other famous, Food Network chefs is in another one, but they're not playing themselves. And to me, that's just like, why?
Weird
why
cameos.
not?
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like Duff is playing literally Duff, but not like Duff. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But yeah, I mean, I still have to hit, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, and we always do right before Christmas on Christmas Eve, Elmo's Christmas Countdown. And then, you know what else I saw, actually, which I really, really enjoyed. Actually, we all enjoyed, was the Hip Hop Nutcracker.
Oh, I saw that was on Disney Plus, and I was like, I kind of feel like I need to watch this.
It was a lot of the people came from either So You Think You Can Dance, right? Twitch and his wife and all that, or they came from, what is that world dance show, which I forget the name of it off the top of my head, but there's another world dance show.
I don't know.
And it was very, very good. And, Rev Run did all the spoken parts. It was really good. Like, it was definitely enjoyable. It's well worth watching.
I actually thought of you yesterday, Damon, because we decided to expose my daughter, because I don't think we had yet to the to Rudolph and to that whole thing, the whole Rankin Bass old cartoon. So and so we decided to watch that, and she's like obsessed with Rudolph now. So
yeah, and again, it was. It's unfortunate that, again, I had to cancel my Dollywood trip, but it's also unfortunate that they stopped doing those characters at Dollywood.
Oh, really? They used to do that?
Yeah, so they, oh my goodness, it was great.
We had,
maybe they just didn't pay for it. I ended up having some pictures with like Cornelius and Abominable. Like, it was great when we went the first time. And, even though we were going and I didn't necessarily, it still kind of hurt a little bit. You know what I mean? We're like, we're still going to go. And then unfortunately they canceled the fireworks because of the quality of the wood, right? Because everything's kind of dried up a little bit. So they canceled the fireworks at Hollywood. Yeah. So again, we're just gonna move our trip, I think, to a little bit later in the year. We'll coordinate something. So
wait, did you cancel it because they canceled the fireworks?
No, for other reasons, unfortunately. So we were going right before Christmas. We had some other family issues that kind of came up. So yeah, it was tough, but we'll probably go after at some point, because it's close enough that we could just rock a weekend.
Yeah.
Plus I'll take the extra money back, to be honest with you. Right. It was expensive around that time and we needed 2 rooms. So, right. So it's it's not the worst.
Well, it's funny. There are certain things that for some reason are like beloved, or things that don't show up on streaming services. And the old Rudolph is one of those things. Like, I tried to find a way to like legitimately stream it, and then I had to find it on YouTube, which felt dirty.
So here's the thing. So what happens is that CBS has now started this thing where they'll show it live, but you can't DVR it. YouTube TV can't DVR it. You can't
stream it. Yeah.
Nope. So, and that's where it becomes tough, because listen, in this day and age, like, I'm not sitting from, 8 to 9 and watching a show anymore. That's just not really how it happened. So we had the DVDs from a long time ago, the whole set.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not a big deal for me, but yes, I totally understand what you're saying. And there's some good ones in there that you might not have seen. Have you ever seen the one with the blind shepherd, the little boy and the sheep?
The little drummer boy?
Nope, not the little drummer boy, which is also a good one.
I don't think I've seen that one. No.
It's really good. But I forget the name of it, but it's right by Rankin Bass, and it's about this shepherd, and the dog is great. It's about this shepherd boy, and this, he's at an orphanage, and it's really good though. You'll have to look it up, but it's well worth it. And it's one of those that is not on TV, like where you see it all the time, right? It's not in prime time, but it's really a good one to watch.
Yeah, I still need to watch I also haven't watched the new Santa Claus series either.
I haven't either. That's on our list, but I wanted to wait till all 6 were out.
You said you wanted to wait till all were out.
Yeah.
Is it only 6 episodes?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I did want to check it out, but
we do a lot of holiday baking shows too, which I'm starting to get a little like on, to be honest with you. So
too many of them?
Yeah, just a little too many of them.
There's too many of them. Yeah, I get that. That makes sense. So, all right.
You have to devote all your time off to just watching movies.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I feel like I've been doing that in the World Cup at this point. But yeah,
binging Christmas stuff.
Yeah,
so, yeah. No, I was just disappointed, man. Like I really wanted to like you know watch those shows in like a legitimate way and not just pull the. But you know what? They're up on YouTube and no one seems to care about the copyright to those things. They're just up there, you know, and have been up there for years. So yeah,
I guess they're still under copyright, aren't they?
They should be. Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like they should almost be public domain at this point, but I don't know.
They're not that old though. Like, I mean, I don't know what public domain is for like television shows, but for music, it's like 1927, I think. I only know this because I was trying to. I told this to people that stuck around after the some of the people that were on the live show last week. But I had come up with a Christmas opening theme for the show. Right. So like I had found a Christmas song that kind of matched into the theme of like the Jungle Cruise Q line kind of thing. But that song was from like 1935 and technically wasn't public domain yet. And I could not for the life of me find a way to license it. So we just ended up not using it. But it's really disappointing. All right. Do you guys want to go ahead and get started with questions here?
Yeah, I got to go pick up my daughter's present, so I don't know how long I got here.
Okay, well that's right. You know, there's a couple things.
Talk about that with, I guess, Trevor's wife's question.
What? Oh yeah. So, well, do you want to skip ahead to that one and then we'll go back?
Nope.
Okay. So Brian asked me at Discord what resort has the best music loop, and I'm actually trying to think. I love music loops, right? But like I tend to go to like the Epcot music loop if I want like a music loop, or like even like Magic Kingdom maybe. Like I don't do resort specific, so I can't. I mean, I think Polly's got a good one, right?
It does.
It's very islandy, right?
Yeah, that one is the one I'm the most aware of, obviously, because I'm there a lot. It's definitely a good one, but
yeah, I don't really like. I mean, I know some of the scents from the like. I actually really noted when last time I was in Poly, like I could really smell the Poly scent, right? Like I feel like
hibiscus.
Yeah, like I don't. You don't always smell the scents that strong, but it was there, and I think when we went to oh gosh, when we were at Old Key West, I feel like Old Key West has a good scent in there too, but. I can't for the life of me remember like what the music loop is at the resorts. So I don't have a good answer to this question.
Yeah. I mean, Poly for me, like they're all like, yeah, like you said, like old, like Hawaiian or like Polynesian songs. So, I know a lot of them by now is the thing. Like, I don't know if it's that I was like deliberately like finding that loop, but and actually, to be fair, I feel that, and I haven't 100% confirmed this, but I know that Disney does reuse a lot of their music. So I think
that's true.
Some of the music you may hear in the resorts is also used in the parks. Like in particular, like between Adventureland, Animal Kingdom, and the Polynesian, you can hear the same music. So yeah, I don't know.
That's a tough question. It's a tough question. All right. Well, we don't have an answer for this one, so we'll go to Damon. You want to read the next one since it's directed towards you?
Sure. So this is from Becky. Let's see. I think you remember you've done DCL cruising before. Yes, but I know you're not about beaching it up. I mean,
you are. You're just not about going in the ocean.
I mean, I go in the ocean. It's just that I'm not trying to always get sharked up. Like I'm not trying to go places where like. There's known sharkings. So
there's known sharkings.
There's known sharkings. I mean, and
if somebody tells you though, there's no sharks in this area in general, like there's never sharks here, like they don't come here. Does that make you feel better, or you just not trust that?
No, I do my research prior, right? And then if I see a shark, I mean, I guess then I'm not about it anymore. But I mean, I go, swim at Hilton Head and swim places. I mean, I wouldn't swim at Vero, be honest with you. I'm not trying to get sharked there for sure, because that's just Shark Central, I feel like.
Does but feel anyway, like a place you would get sharked, is there?
Yeah. So I mean, the question, I guess, is what are your favorite activities on board? I'll answer that one second. And do you enjoy the ports? It depends where you're going. I mean, I thought Cayman's was fine. I mean, for shopping, I don't really do a lot of like activities when I cruise. I don't feel like I'm not really about that. Cruising at DCL is expensive with 5 people in general. So I don't really do that. So I will say, though, that my favorite thing is you got to do the DVC mixer because you can win money. And I think last time I was there, I won a bunch of money, which was awesome. And it's credit, right, for the cruise. And the showers.
So wait, are you like a post up on a beach chair kind of guy, like, and just like
no, not really. I'm a do stuff. Yeah, I'm a do stuff there. Like when we went to Castaway Key, like shuffleboard. There's basketball there, running, biking, that sort of stuff. I think we biked.
Okay.
But anyway, so I'm not about like I don't need to get off, and we got off in Jamaica. But what are you doing? Like you're not just roaming Jamaica, so not anymore, not in this day and age. So I'm not about that. Not really about roaming Mexico either, and I'm not about roaming Nassau. So not really a port person. Plus the ships are so empty. Anyway, so the thing that we liked at least the best is they have those special showers in the spa. They're huge, right? And they're like scented, and they, there's cold, hot, but they're set up as themed huge showers.
Okay.
And we got it for the week because we had that credit. That was probably my favorite thing about the cruise, to be honest with you. That was definitely an onboard activity that was well worth it. We did karaoke. We did trying to think. I mean, we obviously did the aqueduct. We did the sports thing. There's a sports thing where it used to be like what it was at Disney Quest, I guess, where like, you can do all sorts of sports virtually. That was pretty cool. And we did mini golf. I mean, there's a lot to do, man. There's a lot to do. I just feel like paying for it, depending on how many cruises you've done, I feel like paying to do stuff off the boat is worth it after you've done everything on the boat that you've wanted to do during multiple cruises. That's me. I mean, I don't know. Those cruises are expensive, man.
Yeah, they are.
Plus, I don't know, with these new cruise ships, like the Royal Caribbean, that new one that's coming out in 2024 is literally like a floating city. Like, I want to try that, right? At a third of the price. So we'll see.
All right. Oh, the next question's for you too.
Yeah, I feel like your wife is not caught up. Is that what it is?
She's on episode 168. Wow.
Yeah. So what happened was my wife, she used to, she had some time off of work, and she used to listen to the podcast at work. So it was, how she got through her day, and like she would listen to it on her commute and everything. Because she wasn't at work for a while, she got behind on the podcast. So she is now, I told her, you could just go and, just start listening to the most recent episodes. And she's like, no, I want to go through from where she left off. And she's been catching up. So that's okay, where this question is coming from.
Yeah. So the question comes, she just finished listening up to episode 168 and wanted to ask me if I ever got a second wood carving, if it was Gravity Falls or Rescue Rangers, like you were thinking. And I answered this on the wait list, but I can tell you that no, I didn't, because I ended up getting a sketch from the Amphibia show from Matt himself. And it was funny though, because when I went to go bring it to get framed, so I ordered the frame and all the stuff for it. And then I was like, I'm going to take it back home with me. And you tell me when you're ready, and then I'll bring it back, and then you can frame it. He had actually put in a pin as well. I guess they made a music box pin, Disney, for Amphibia.
Oh, really?
I think because it's got the same backing as you get from a regular pin. So I don't think it was anything like that wasn't made out in the wild, but it was pretty cool. It was the Amphibia music box. Disney pin. So I found that as well with it when I went to go get a frame. So I am keeping that for myself. But no, the reason I didn't do that is because I think now I have three things, 3 kids. So I have the DuckTales cell, I have the wood carving, and now I have the sketch, the storyboard from an episode of Amphibia. So now I'm done. So I don't think I need a second wood carving. I would have done it if I needed a third thing so that each kid can have something. But now I think we're set.
Makes sense.
And actually, I'm going to take a picture of it. So I'll post a picture of it maybe on Monday, because I'm going to go pick it up today, which is why I'm going to leave the episode early, just in case anyone's wondering, right? Because I know people for some reason really like to wonder about that. That's why I'll be leaving early. Because they close early, and then they're not open Sunday and Monday. So I have to get it today.
Yeah.
We're recording Saturday, which is a little bit out of the norm.
it is a little out of the norm for us, but yeah, it's. I don't even know what we need to. We probably need to figure out what our holiday schedule is going to look like. I'm thinking we probably just do next week and then either do waitlist episodes or just disappear for 2 weeks. But
I feel like we could just disappear for 2 weeks, man.
Yeah, you could probably squeeze in a waitlist episode. I think. Yeah, but
what if we did one waitlist episode and just split it in half?
Just do a 2-parter.
No one would ever know.
No one would ever know. Oh yeah, we could do that.
Or maybe what Damon's thinking is, we do a to be continued in the middle of a playlist.
Yeah, we could definitely do that. I think that would be fine. Or do people just? I mean, really, are people going to listen?
No,
waitlists are worthless because they don't even push the meter. They don't even click the number count, right?
No, we would not. We don't get that many people listening during the holidays, which is fine. So we get that. So
we're gonna skip. I'm making the decision here. Unless you guys are gonna fight me on it, let's just skip and relax. That's what we have a group for, man.
To be fair, this goes back to what we're saying about there's too many Christmas movies to watch. People are not
Christmas to watch.
Yeah. People are not listening to the podcast.
How about this? What if we do a special 1 hour Discord somewhere for everybody? Could do that. So.
Do another live show? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, not as official. But I would actually do that, to be honest with you.
All right. I
would jump in there somewhere. Everyone bring their Christmas presents. Show us what you got. We could do.
Yeah, we can figure something out.
Anybody? You know what? Maybe I'll. I need to go dig out my Switch, but if anybody wants to play Mario Kart,
I would do that.
Yeah, I'm down to play some Mario Kart because there's been new tracks being released.
I think there's new tracks. I think there was one that just came out this week. Actually,
is it this week? Yeah,
DLC, wasn't it? Or it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming real quick. I know that. So I don't know if it was this week or next week or what. I know it is before Christmas, but I'm down to do that because me and my brother play Mario Kart all the time, and I'm glad to, get
3
more
days
people.
Ago, it said.
Yeah.
3 days ago they had Wave 3 courses booster pack.
Yeah. Okay. So then I'll be playing that in the next week or so anyway. So maybe I'll figure out. I do have means to stream Switch stuff, so maybe I'll figure something out.
It all seems like a lot of work, though.
Yeah, well, but this is going to be over Christmas, I have time off leading up to Christmas, so maybe I'll find a day where I'll post my Twitch channel because I have done that in the past, and so people can watch that don't necessarily want to play, but maybe we'll get on Discord or something and play Mario Kart. I don't know.
Isn't so we've been all about Switch Sports lately in my house, just because when we have my parents over,
we played a little bit of it.
Yeah, they can do some bowling, So, What were you saying, Damon?
Yeah, we played a little bit of it as well. None of the stuff on the Switch holds a candle though to Mario Party for my kids. So.
Oh no, I totally agree with that.
That is classic.
Yeah. No, also, isn't GoldenEye coming to... GoldenEye, I think, is coming to Switch sometime soon here, too.
I mean, maybe.
Well, they did release it on the N64 Switch Online stuff, but...
did that come out already, though? Or I thought that was not out yet.
I think it's in there. I'll have to go look. They pulled up... Or they've been just constantly releasing N64 games on the...
Yeah, because I mean, if you can play that online against people, I would definitely play that, too.
Oh, boy.
Why did you say "oh boy" to that?
That game started fights amongst my friends.
Oh yeah,
younger, so
see, that game always reminds me of Christmas, right? Because when I was a kid, we would go to my uncle's house for Christmas Eve. Every year, they'd have a Christmas party, and my cousins and I would play GoldenEye on N64, and it was just a thing we did, and that would always cause problems, right? Me and my cousins, we'd always have problems because of GoldenEye. So. Yeah. Anyway,
I'm trying to figure out. So when are there two Mario parties for the Switch?
There's Mario Party All Stars. Yeah, Superstars. Yeah, Superstars.
But then there's also what is the Super Mario Party?
So one was the new, or they released a new Mario Party which didn't do very well, and then All Stars is they pulled back stuff from the original Mario parties, one or. was I want to say like 1 through 5 or something like that.
We actually tend to play the All-Star one because that one it's
called Superstars,
whatever it is. They took away some of the annoying things about about regular Mario Party. Like it's a little bit faster and moves a little quicker. Yeah. And the board, there's some interesting boards on there too. Like that's the ones that we've been playing mostly.
So there's a new one coming in 2023. So that will be interesting. That will be the new thing we end up doing in 2023. Okay. Plus, I'm really on board for this PSVR too. Like I'm all about that. Like I can't wait for that to come out in February. I think it was terrible. I realized I spent so much less money this year on Christmas because there was no real, nothing from PlayStation or Xbox or anything. I mean, you have Hogwarts Legacy coming, which is going to be ridiculous.
Yep.
And then the PlayStation VR 2, which I just happen to like. I like the fact is that there's what you're getting with PlayStation VR. It doesn't matter, what headset you have. If you have it hooked up to a computer, if you don't, you know what you're getting. I like that simplicity part of it. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, that's fair. I just all I hope is that a lot of the stuff on PSVR that they don't lock it to that one platform, or kind of like they've been.
Oh, they will. I mean, all the Sony stuff definitely will be.
Well, I mean, Sony's been good lately about a lot of their original first party stuff is coming cross platform. Like I think
later for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with waiting a bit, but just because. Right now, for me to get into a PS5 would be over $1,000 for all that, like that, and PSVR and all that, and that's a little too much.
Yeah, that was an interesting tangent we just went on there.
It was. Yeah. All right, back to questions.
If GoldenEye's out there, though, I do need to play GoldenEye. That has to happen. I'm going to do that when I have some time off here. So, do you want to read Nathan's question?
Yeah. Yeah, Nathan says best DVC resort restaurants.
That's a hard question because you got to follow
anything besides Animal Kingdom. Well, that's what I feel like.
So for me, the best resort restaurant that I've eaten at was Storybook Dining at Wilderness Lodge.
All right, that's fair.
That's the best one that I've had so far.
I think I need to qualify this more though, right? Because it's best by what measure, right? Like best food, best entertainment, best atmosphere, you know what I mean? Because for me, I love Whispering Canyon at Wilderness Lodge, but it's not the best food. It's some of the best entertainment, or Ohana I enjoy, right? I think a lot of people enjoy Ohana, but for me, Ohana is awesome. I mean, it's good, but it's not a signature restaurant, right? I don't know. It's a tough question because I like a lot of the resort restaurants. We did Boma twice for breakfast when we were at Animal Kingdom. The breakfast buffet there is really great. And we enjoyed that. Man, it's tough because there's so many restaurants at the resorts. I'm surprised you did. I thought you were going to say Ohana, Trevor.
No, I mean Ohana's up there, but we had a better meal and because it's character dining and it's Snow White and the evil queen was it's a great character interaction.
It's a good character event, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we had a really good time at Storybook. So yeah, that's at the top of our list for now.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, if I were going to do this, I would say for breakfast, I'd say Boma. Is probably my favorite breakfast we've done. I'd say for dinner, oh man, if we're just looking for a fun laid back meal, I would go with Whispering Canyon, which I don't know. Can you technically call that a DVC? Because I mean, I guess it's Copper Creek is in Wilderness Lodge, right? So
yeah,
all right, we'll count that. But I mean, that's for fun. I would say Sanaa for a really a signature meal. We've always had a good signature meal at Sanaa. And I mean, we've enjoyed eating at California Grill and if we're going really high up there, California Grill's always been good for us. Which again, does that count as a DVC? I don't know, because it's in the Contemporary and not in Bay Lake, right?
I see it as, okay, there's nothing in Bay Lake for dining though.
No,
right?
there isn't. And it's attached to the Contemporary. Does it count?
Yeah, that would be my thinking is, any resort that, a DVC resort is, you have you have access to the larger resort, even though, the DVC area may only be a part of the resort.
That's true. Okay.
Not like Old Key, because technically then like Old Key West and Riviera, I think, are the only like DVC.
Saratoga.
Saratoga. Yeah.
Yeah. Because otherwise you have, or Riviera. And then, although I've wanted to eat at Topolino's. I've heard Topolino's is really good. But it's really challenging to get a reservation there. I have not been able to make that happen. So definitely want to eat there because I've heard that that's really good too. So there you go. There's our answer to that one.
Yeah.
Jeremy says, I don't have a question. I just want to give a shout out to all the guests for episode 200. It was nice to see all of your faces and hear someone besides Tom talk. I don't know if I should be offended by this or not.
No, I don't think so. But I think what was kind of interesting is, like you said, that you're really the only one that's done 200 episodes.
Yeah, I did see somebody say that it's really Tom's 200th episode.
No, it was Dan. Maybe that was Dan. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Dan that said that. Yeah. It's funny that he pointed that out because that is true, right? So I'm the only one that has done all of the episodes. Yeah, that's kind of funny. Actually, no, you know what? I think I did. You guys did one by yourselves one time, and I just edited it together. So I think technically this might be my 200th right now.
This might be your 200th.
Yeah. I seem to remember there was one episode that you guys did without me that I just later
someone
edited.
I don't remember. Someone needs.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah. It was. This would have been like the first 2 years, I think, that happened. I vaguely remember this. That we got on and did it, and then we just said we were done, and then you did the editing.
Yeah, and I don't even think
that would be fun.
What the
No Tom episode is kind of like when the substitute teachers, right? We do whatever we want.
It's a little scary. You could do whatever you want now. I don't stop you doing anything.
But I don't ever listen, so I don't know what you edit out or not. So
I don't really edit much out. I think I said this to the small group of the people that were on the show after 200. Like, there's very rare times that I edit things out. It's really only if we like screw up something within the ad, like that I keep those. I make sure that we're not screwing up the ad. And if we give out like really incorrect information, then I'll remove that because I don't want to give out incorrect information to people. So that's the only time, though. For the most part, I mean, I just let it ride. So, but I mean, I don't like edit out like the ums, and I mean, I think people know if they listen. Of course, I'm not sitting here editing out ums. That's just
It's so funny though because I've been listening to other podcasts. I told you on the way to get my son. The problem is there's this huge no internet zone, right? There's no Verizon, no AT&T, because I have one of each phone. So usually I'm covered, right? Like it's either one or the other, and one works, one doesn't. But I have two phones, and one's Verizon, one's AT&T. There's at least an hour and a half dead spot. So I've been listening to a lot more podcasts, and I will tell you that even the professional podcasts, we do way better job with those ums and all that than they do. Oh, some of them are really bad, and they're like professional ones with like really professional people and like actors and actresses. How do you get on a podcast and yourself all over the place when that's your job? But anyway.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. I think we're actually good.
No, I've listened to some good ones though lately. I've been listening to a lot of soccer ones, but I told you guys I was listening to those Marvel ones that were pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah, no, I have to check that. I have not been listening to a lot of podcasts lately. I've been really bad, and I don't
just have to. I don't have anything else to do in between those times.
Yeah, I get that. I don't listen to any Disney podcasts though. This is I think I've said this before. Like I'm always worried about us like ripping something off another podcast unknowingly.
I listen to the Disney dads. What are they called now? Whatever they are. I listen to them every once in a while because their shows aren't really news based.
They're topic based, yeah.
Yeah, so I listen to them every once in a while, but I think that's probably the only one I listen to Disney wise.
The only one I listen to is the Imagineering podcast. I've actually tried to get that guy on the show before, and we had agreed to get a time for him to come on the show. We just didn't make it happen. So maybe next year. But yeah, no, I enjoy that show. Imagineering podcast as well.
Well, that's what we need next year is more guests for real.
Yeah, we need more guests next year. We'll make that happen. So, Trevor, do you listen to any? I mean, are you?
Honestly, yeah, I'm not really a podcast person, but part of it is Well, actually,
it's just funny because you do a podcast, like
I mean, I actually did used to listen to a lot of different Disney podcasts, but I realized what changed was changing to working from home because of how the world went sideways for a bit there. A lot of my time used to be when I was commuting to and from work, I would listen to the podcast, but now that I don't do that, I don't really listen to any podcasts. So. I don't have any downtime at the moment where I can do that. I think is the biggest problem. Not to say that I want to go back to commuting. I mean, I really like not having to commute, but
I wish I didn't commute ever.
Well, and I still do. Just or like it's I go into the office like a couple of times a week, but it's not like I'm not. Yeah. I'm not riding the train or anything, so it does change that. Yeah.
So Chris asks, do you think small changes like being able to modify your lightning lane will help lessen the dislike for the product? It makes sense they would be making changes over time to the system, but people always rush to judgment on release.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
The ability to modify them
Nope. I just love it the way it is. Make it more expensive and I'll love it even more.
So it's the opposite of what everybody else thinks.
No, but I like it because again, you're not. It's worthless if it's cheap because then everyone gets it. So
it's true. Yeah,
I like it the way it is. I think it's fine.
Well, listen,
I like the way that they're adjusting the pricing too because I think that makes sense, right? If it's busier, it's more expensive, less people. Yeah, I'm about that.
Yeah, I agree. I do think. Go ahead, sorry, Trevor.
Sorry, I was just going to say, kind of to Chris's point, giving the one thing I found using it was that it was like once you booked it, there was that risk in the back of your head where it was like, well, I'm married to going at this time.
Yep. Oh wow.
But if I needed to change it for any reason.
Make better life decisions.
No.
Make better life decisions.
Nah, Damon. No, but you know how real life goes.
But think about it like this: if you were able to adjust it, you're screwing other people.
Well,
that's what it is, man.
So we had a day where someone got sick, and we basically just blew the day out of the water. If
you wanted to cancel it versus changing.
Well, yeah, canceling it is one thing too, but
I'm okay with canceling it.
If I could have possibly changed it as well, like plans changed, beyond my own planning.
That's
being able to change it, I think, is way more valuable than people realize. Because no matter how much you say, plan better, you do need the ability to change it.
For me, I don't agree because I think once you give people the ability to change it, the whole system goes to crud, right? Again, yes, it's disappointing sometimes if things change for people and you can't adjust it. And that's got to be the way it is to make it work the way it's supposed to. If people have the ability to change, then it just turns into a scenario. I don't know. That's the way I feel. Yeah. Hey, listen, it stinks. Things happen. And, can you get your money back? Okay, cool. I'm good with that. But I don't know. Just because someone has to go take a poop doesn't mean you can change when you need to go to a rock.
Well, I mean, I think, like my sister ran into a similar situation as you, Trevor, but it was they had booked they were in a large group, right? They had like 9 people and they had booked a lightning lane for Guardians and then found out that there was a dinner reservation that they were unaware of.
Well, that's their own fault, though.
Well, they didn't plan on the trip.
Man.
They didn't plan the trip, and there were other people planning the trip, and there just was.
And they should have asked. I can't be on board with this, man. You make your decisions, stick with them. That's what they are.
Listen,
sorry.
I'm just, I mean, they got it canceled and everything, or like changed, but it just was. It was they had to go and talk to cast members to do it, and not.
Yeah, I can get on board, like I said, with Trevor's idea of if you have to cancel, that's different. But adjustments, no adjustments. Plan better.
But I mean, you used to be able to do that with the fast passes before. I mean, you could change your time.
No, you could drop it, but there's no way you're getting it back. We all knew.
Oh yeah, well, you could modify your time, and sometimes you get lucky, and there would be a different time, and if someone else canceled, that kind of thing.
I wonder if there is a better way, though, to kind of see what's available.
refresh on the app.
Does something where like right now it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to do this. Okay, well, here's the time it says I'm going to go. Like, man, give me the list of everything. Yeah, let me have the options. Give me all the options up front, man.
Yeah, you're right, Damon. That's the one thing. You're right. That's what got me was that. Yeah, it was like, this is the time. No discussion. No anything.
Yeah. And the thing is, I've seen a lot of people lately complaining about, I don't want to get up to have to make some of these individual Lightning Lane reservations in the morning. I just want to sleep in, and I can kind of understand that as well. Mm-hmm. You know, if I look at the sneaker thing, I always like to kind of talk about the sneaker aspect of this. You know, they went to something where it was first come, first serve, and it just wasn't fair enough. So they went to like, you know, kind of an individual lottery where you log in, you say you want to be in the lottery, and then, you know, in 15 minutes, it tells you whether you won or not. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like sometimes, I mean, that's what we have with some of the rides, right? But it's also still, it's like kind of a little bit more first come, first serve sort of thing, rather than allowing everyone to just, hey, here's a 15-minute window. You don't have to be fast about it. You just have to get in, and then it's a lottery system. I feel like Lightning Lane, if you're not giving people the option to choose times, it's hard. Like, I don't know.
It would be good too if they had different tranches of times that they can give out. You know what I mean? Like, where it's like maybe there's 5,000 available at 7 a.m. and then once those are gone, then they're gone. But then like another group comes out at like 12 or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that would be kind of nice. But and maybe they do
kind of
that,
like the virtual queue.
But yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, maybe they do it and we just don't see it. But I do think that when they came out with this, it was, you know, it's like with anything that you come out with. You come out with the minimum viable product, right?
Yeah.
Well, and now they're making changes and making it better. So,
and that's my only dislike is that just, you know, getting up in the morning, because even at 7, like when your kids get older, like our kids are older, like we're not trying to be up early anymore. There's not really a point. I'm not rope dropping anything. So we, like, my wife and myself would wake up at 7. Do our individual Lightning Lanes and then go back to bed. Like, dude, that's stupid though.
I only did that one day when we were there, and then the rest of the time I just, you know, was like, you know what, whatever we get, and the bigger thing is you know, like you said, you know, stuff gets booked up or disappears right away. But what I found, like with the Lightning Lanes, was that, you know, if you keep spamming refresh on the app, people do cancel and change stuff.
But then that's work on your end.
It is,
you know, vacation becomes work.
Yeah, nice if you could do like an alert, right? Like if you do a push notification, hey, this time that you wanted came up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but could you imagine who it would be going out to?
It'd be hard. Yeah.
Like one thing for 1,000 people.
Yeah.
But by the time you see it and you action it, it's gone already. Yeah. Like that's, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying that would be nice. I'm not saying it wouldn't necessarily work in practice.
So before we finish the questions, I don't know. I liked my question this week that we were talking about. Wouldn't it be nice if every park, every day, they paid for somebody's vacation, right? So kind of doing the rough math on that, it was like $18 million a year, which is obviously a lot of money. I mean, that would be for good vacations too, but that's a lot of money. But the nice part about that would be, I mean, really, that's not a lot to them, right? To Disney at the end of the day. Could you imagine if there was, like, you're in the park and every single day someone's full vacation got paid for? That would be so awesome.
I want to say they did stuff like that before, but not
that would be great.
Like the whole vacation.
There was the year of 1,000 wishes or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That was back in like 2018, where they like it went from like, you know, the little things up to like people staying in like the Cinderella suite.
Pay for everyone's pay for their vacation. One a day, every park. No DVC members. Sorry. No APs for sure.
What if you went into like a DVC member or a AP, then you get your pass for a year, or you get your tickets for a year or something, you know?
That shouldn't be in the pool though. I don't for what Damon's saying, that shouldn't be.
No, not in the pool. Anyway,
all right.
That was my thought of the week.
That was your thought of the week.
Yeah. All right, can we skip to 6? Because I want to talk about 6, and then I got to go pick up.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised you don't want to talk about the Fiti thing. I know how excited you are about the Moana.
I mean, it looks cool, but dude, show me some videos. Like, a picture means nothing. I've seen this picture before. Like,
I like that she looks like she's trying to eat Spaceship Earth.
From that angle, yeah. All right, so you want to talk about 6? Okay. So reportedly, phone photography and filming is no longer allowed on Space Mountain at Magic Kingdom.
Make this everywhere and every ride, please. Please.
I don't know why I thought you were going to go the opposite way on this, Damon. I thought you were going to be I can't believe they won't let me film.
No, absolutely not. Make this everywhere. This would be the single greatest rule that could exist at Disney. Besides, anytime anyone fights, they're banned for life, no matter what, no questions asked. But outside of that, this would be, or rude to a cast member, you're banned for life too. That would be another great rule.
I mean,
but
that would be great.
That would be great. But this would be a great thing to have everywhere. Dude, I don't need people ruining all of the rides by filming on your phone. Stop.
The reason they had at Trevor during the meetup because I
would have slapped into the water. I feel like I'm getting to that point now. I'm slapping phones into the water.
To be fair, I did that like at the beginning of Space Mountain just to prove that you and I were on.
Well, I was talking about Thunder Mountain. I think we live streamed all of Thunder Mountain.
No, I didn't. I had it on again for the lift hill, and then I put my phone away.
Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah, that's true. Okay.
But yeah, this would be the best. Yeah. If this never happened. Actually, I wish there was no filming in the parks, like no vloggers, no nothing.
I do hate when, I'm glad, I was so happy when they banned selfie sticks a long time ago, because I hate I can't.
Those were just flat out dangerous. More so than cameras. Like, the reality is anybody could drop their camera, right?
Yeah.
Well, and that's part of the problem. But even just ruining the experience for other people, especially on dark rides, man, come on.
Well, yeah, what's the point of even filming on Space Mountain? Unless you're filming in night vision, you're not seeing anything anyway.
So Navi's one of the worst ones because I love that ride. And again, the knock on that ride that I have is that it's not secluded enough, right? But then you have somebody right with you or right in front of you with their flash on filming. Bro, come on. You're ruining the ride. Yeah, that should be,
and you're getting an ugly photo or video at the end of the day.
I'm not about that. So yeah, I wish that this was everywhere.
I think though, this rule is fairly specific to Space Mountain in that I would bet that people dropping their phones causes the ride to shut down sometimes, and also because the tracks overlap, I'm betting phones have fallen out of people's hands and hit other people in the head.
Absolutely.
I'm assuming
you can't see it coming, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, go ahead, sorry, Trevor.
Well, there's that. And then I was actually going to say, I'm honestly surprised that this didn't happen a lot sooner because, you look at other parks, you look at Universal and stuff, and they're pretty strict about, take and I get, different rides, different climate or climate in that, how they run the parks and everything.
Sure.
But yeah, it's, I agree with Damon, I know, yes, I've taken out my phone on a ride. I'll admit that. But if they took away, if they said no phones, fine, I would not take my phone out. And even more so to that, like Damon, I hate it when I'm on Pirates and somebody is, whipping out their phone and using, the long flash to try and, get a picture of Captain Jack Sparrow that is going to look like garbage.
It's going to look terrible.
Stop doing that.
Yeah. It's funny because one of the times I was on the little Finding Nemo ride, right? Right before the seas, there's that one cool part with the animatronic where the fish is chasing after Marlin and trying to eat him. And it's kind of bouncing all over the room. And somebody took a picture there with their flash and basically revealed the whole mechanism of how it works, which just, kind of ruins it, Yeah. And it was actually really impressive how it worked. To be honest, when I saw it, I was like, wow, that's really cool piece of machinery. It's not one of those
because you enjoy that.
Yeah. That's true.
The thing is for a lot of people, that's just,
it annoyed me. They did it. It annoyed me. They did it. I didn't want to see it. Right. But it was still cool to see. But I hate that kind of stuff happens, especially in dark rides.
Yep. All right. So my last thing before I go on to go, I just want to say the DuckTales World Showcase that you guys will talk about later.
Yeah.
Dude, too late.
So I was going to say, I feel like we talked about this 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Yeah.
I get everything with COVID and all, but dude, too late. The show doesn't even exist anymore. Yeah. Right. If it was a show that was still going on, but they knew how long the show would go. I don't know. If you're
different divisions of the company, right? Maybe they just
get it, but kids are going to be like, what's DuckTales? Because,
Yeah. They could watch it on Disney Plus though, right?
I guess they could, but it's not the same.
I understand.
Yeah, well,
All right, Damon, we're losing you. You're leaving us?
Yeah, I got to go pick this thing
all
up.
right, man.
All right, later.
Later.
All right.
We'll come back to the DuckTales thing in a bit. But
yeah, why don't we go ahead and do the ad, and then we'll go back to a couple of the subjects here.
Okay, this week we have Monera. Monera, a World of DVC company, is the industry leader for financing DVC resale contracts. Monera offers lending with the longest terms available at 12 years, the option of no credit check, instant approval, low down payments, and no payment penalties. If you're thinking of purchasing a DVC contract on the resale market, go check out their quick online quote first. You may be surprised just how affordable joining DVC can be. Go to monerafinancial.com or call 317-245-8800. And when you speak to them, be sure to let them know that Welcome Home sent you.
All right, so back to the Fiti thing.
Okay.
So I find it very interesting, but first of all, it looks incredible. I mean,
it does.
It looks absolutely incredible.
I mean, to be fair, that picture, it almost looks photoshopped.
It doesn't look real. It doesn't look real.
Yeah. And I made the comment earlier that, just the angle that they did, I know they wanted to get Spaceship Earth in there, but it looks like she's about to eat or destroy Spaceship Earth, which is funny.
Yeah. And this is for the Moana attraction, the Journey Water Moana themed attraction at Epcot. And first of all, I find this very interesting that they've put this. She's 16 feet tall. I think I said that, but I'm interested that they put this in already, right? So what I mean by that is they're saying late 2023 for this. So we're still at a minimum 8-9 months away from this. Like, it's interesting to me that they put this in now, even though the attraction is so far out still. Is it just because of the design of it? Like, they have to build stuff around it where they had to put it in now, or are they trying to hype it up beforehand? Or I don't know. It's weird to me.
I feel it's the former. I feel this is the same kind of thing as the Yeti in Everest, where they built the ride around the feature, right?
Yeah.
So
because it's such a massive figure, right? Like, so it probably is really hard to. Yeah. And
so if you're thinking about, this is a 16-foot tall statue of Te Fiti. There's probably, structurally, there's a lot that needs to go on underneath of it. So you can't just, drop it in on top of other stuff if you want it to be stable and all that. And then, it was probably, I'm sure as part of their planning, it's probably that, this thing, if you're looking at, groundwork, this thing probably has to, be anchored into the ground so far. And then other things, even things that may not seem like they interact with it, it's probably that, they're kind of looking at it in layers and said, this has to be in first before, we can start building the next layer up.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I think that's probably what it is. It's just crazy that it's like a full 9-10 months ahead of when it's going to open,
Yeah. Well, the cool thing is you'll be able to see it like from the monorail and stuff as you're going by. I'm itching for them to just finish that whole area. I'll be honest. I'm sick of all the construction in the middle of Epcot. Like it is so,
really bad. It's bad.
Yeah. It's been there for so long. And the thing is, I know, they had delays and everything, but it just, my personal experience with Disney is, I saw, when they shut down to build Star Wars Land in Disneyland and how, they took down the train, and when they took down the train to build Tron in Magic Kingdom. And then same thing with Epcot, like these, for me, it's like, I feel like, I don't go very often. I go once a year, and I feel like there should be and again, this is my own warped perception of time and everything. And I know that I feel like things should happen faster than they do. And part of my reasoning for that is that I live in a climate where construction reasonably only happens like half of the year. And somehow things get constructed at what seems like the same rate that they get constructed at in Florida, when Florida,
year round,
basically
build stuff.
Basically go year round, right? Yeah. I'm a little annoyed that we were there in November, and we saw all the construction for around Epcot, and I was on the monorail, and I was like, it doesn't look like they've done a lot, but I know they have. Like I know a lot changed, but it just seems like it's taking way too long.
Well, I mean, they've had this problem for a while, right? Like that's been a criticism. And there was, I remember 4 or 5 years ago, they had replaced leadership over at Imagineering specifically to get things done faster. But it's that obviously it's not come to fruition.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because Tron is taking forever. I mean, even like Pandora, how long did Pandora take? Pandora took forever. Now, like, given they were building this land that has floating rocks in it and, you know, not the easiest thing to accomplish, right? But
yeah, there's big construction pieces that had to happen there too. But
this feels like it shouldn't take as long. Yeah.
I guess this is the thing. So this is the center area in Epcot. They took out a couple of buildings to do this.
Yeah.
But it seems like that's all that they did. And like the stuff that they're putting in, it's like, it doesn't seem like it's not on the same scale as building a land. It's, you know, it's a small section of an existing park.
Yeah.
Which I guess makes it feel worse, is it's like, you know, come on guys, like
it does.
How long does it take you to do
concrete? It does feel like they have been speeding it up a little bit, because like the last pictures I saw, it looks like they've made a lot of progress on this Moana thing, and like they've already got the structure built for that permanent stage that they're building for the concerts and for like you know, the stuff for the festivals, right? So
yeah, I saw the framework for that too when I was there in November. So.
It seems like they're moving faster than they were before, right? But
yeah,
I understand. I'm with you. I just want that construction to be done, and for them to be able to open all that up, because the walls stink. But you are going to see this over the wall too. I mean, I don't think those walls are 16 feet tall. I mean, it's going to be
yeah. If you're standing anywhere near like Living Seas or anything, you'll probably see this. Like,
for sure. Yeah.
It
looks incredible too. I mean, it really just is very well done by them. It looks so good. So I can't say anything more about it. Hopefully. And I know that Disney designs these things to deal with the harsh effects of Florida weather, so I'm sure it's going to be fine, and they'll spruce it up if they need to before. Well, I'm sure they will spruce it up before they open, right? Just because it will have been sitting there for 9 months, and I'm sure they're going to want it to look as good as it can, and you know, when it opens. So, do you care at all about this new Avatar movie?
Okay, so all right. First of all, for anyone wondering, that this is labeled Avatar stuff in the parks. So,
yeah, I just called it Avatar stuff.
Yeah, so the whole reason that Tom asked this question is that apparently they're doing a Tree of Life Awakening show in Animal Kingdom that will have some tie into Avatar: The Way of Water. And so I'm looking at this video, and so who is this? Michael Lang, is it? Or no, sorry, Stephen Lang.
Yeah.
Wasn't he okay? Spoilers for anybody that didn't watch the first movie that came out over 10 years ago. Wasn't this the guy that died
in the movie?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I think I've only ever seen that movie all the way through, like maybe once.
I need to go back and look at this now.
I have to say, like, so I like the Tree of Life Awakenings thing. Like, I enjoy it. I don't know if you've ever watched it, Trevor, but it's cool to watch. It's really well done, and it really feels like the tree is transforming, right? Like, they do a really good job with the projection mapping. I think what my disappointment here is, and maybe they're going to do this. Maybe this just hasn't been announced yet. But why don't they update Flight of Passage, like, with new scenes from the movie? Like, it doesn't seem like it would be that difficult for them to install a new movie and install new movements, right? I mean, it feels fairly programmable, right? Like,
to be fair, I feel like Flight of Passage kind of covers a lot of the movies, or like the way that they did Flight of Passage seems like it is like in between the movies.
Sure, because, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's in between. Yeah,
because it already it already does go, like, you know, you go through the water, you go down by the ocean and all that kind of stuff. So I don't think they need to necessarily change the ride at this point, or, you know,
I'm just surprised they're not doing a tie-in in some way, like even adding a scene or something. You know, like that seems like something Disney would do. You know,
but even the existing ride doesn't actually have any like scenes from the first movie.
That's true. That is true.
It's very much its own thing. That's my point. Is that they kind of made it its own self-contained thing.
Yeah, and I guess you would have to modify like the pre-shows or something. You know, like if you wanted to build it around the new movie.
Modify the pre-show.
I like the pre-show. I enjoy the awkwardness of the pre-show.
Oh, sorry to the actor that did that. Like that was.
I think he was put in a bad position on that one. I don't know like how he could have done it and not made it awkward. I don't know, but
I mean, you know what? It almost reminds me of an episode of Blue's Clues.
An episode of Blue's Clues.
The way that the guy talks to the camera is like, his pauses and everything is like you know how on Blue's Clues it's like they ask a question and they like they wait for your answer kind of thing. Like it, yeah.
So here's a random tangent question for you. Favorite pre-show acting on any ride?
Favorite pre-show acting. Okay.
I'm gonna go with Dinosaur. I love the Dinosaur pre-show. I think it's well done. It's stupid and silly, but I enjoy it.
Okay, that's fair. I would say, Cosmic Rewind.
I was going to say, is Guardians up there? Is that
Terry Crews like that? Yeah,
that makes me really happy that Terry Crews is in the pre-show. Like, it almost makes me want to go on it just for Terry Crews because I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. Like me and my son, the first time we saw it, we were like, oh, that's awesome. And of course, he does his job very well. Like he flips very quickly between like happy and bubbly and intimidating in that pre-show, which I like.
I used to enjoy the pre-show for Mission Space before when it was who was it?
Gary Sinise.
Gary Sinise, yeah, when Gary Sinise was doing it, but it was very serious, right? Like it was a little too serious, but yeah.
I like that one. I mean, classic pre-show would have to be Tower of Terror for me.
Okay,
like, I think that's probably like the most timeless pre-show. I feel.
I see. I'm just trying to think because I think the pre-shows they've been doing lately are kind of different in a way where they're more themed to the ride, right? Like where if you go on like Rise of the Resistance or like they're very very themed to the ride. You don't have like even because the Mickey and Minnie's pre-show is amazing, right? So wait, you didn't get to go on it, did you?
We didn't get to do it this time. So
the Mickey and Minnie's pre-show is amazing, but it's different because it's a cartoon, right? So like. Yeah. In a way, I'm like talking about the when it's like the live actor ones, and it's not like an actor that's in character. You know what I mean? I don't know how to describe what I'm thinking here, but yeah, no, I think you nailed it. I think I think Terry Crews would probably be great.
Okay,
yeah. I'm looking at this Avatar gear though, by the way, and it is terrible looking. Like I think it is anyway.
All the stuff from the Avatar stuff, like when you walk out through the gift shop, has never been
not your jam.
Good. Like my son, he bought like one of the daggers from there, but he was like 9, and it's forgotten now. Like it's somewhere. I don't even know where it is, but he still knows where like his like lightsabers and stuff are. Right? Like
yeah, of course. Yeah. I have to say this food that they're bringing to Satuli Canteen looks good. It's good that that's one of the best quick services around is Satuli Canteen. They've got some really good stuff there. But they're bringing this thing called a colorful ocean moon bowl with tuna, blue noodles, watermelon radish, pickled daikon, rainbow carrots, avocado, cucumbers, and red cabbage.
It looks like a poke bowl.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, my wife would be down with this for sure. Yeah. Like, definitely not my thing. But it looks cool. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the blue noodles. I think that sell it. It really it's very colorful, and then add some blue in there. Even though I don't. What is this?
The thing over to the left is a dessert of some sort, but it's like it looks very cool. It looks like can't even describe it. It's like a shell.
It looks like they use the same. I guess are they boba or something from the
the boba. I'm talking about the things that are sticking out out of the top of it, though.
Right,
those look very cool.
You know what that I feel that's supposed to look like is when you walk into Pandora, there's that big.
You're 100% right. That's exactly what it is. Yeah,
it looks like a smaller, like you're eating that thing.
Yep, you're totally right. That's exactly what it is.
Sentient plant.
Yeah, what is that's you're 100% right. It looks just like that. So good call. I'm just scrolling through though and looking at the merchandise that they're putting out, and I'm just like Like, I would not wear any of this clothing. This clothing is not my style at all.
Yeah, well, especially like the Spirit jersey with Avatar across the back.
I hate Spirit jerseys anyway, so I'm good on that. There's a bucket hat. Too bad Damon's gone. There's a bucket hat, but he's not going to wear that bucket hat.
These look like they could have been sold at Hot Topic, and you wouldn't have known the difference.
They probably will be sold at Hot Topic.
like seriously, they don't look like anything like special or remarkable. And I guess this is the hard part, is that, I know Avatar, it's one of the most, it's made the most amount of money, but somehow it's not,
the cultural impact is not there.
Yeah. Like people don't talk about it the same way that you talk about Star Wars or Marvel or Harry Potter or any other show. Like people don't talk, people almost talk about it with disdain. Like, which
Avatar, is weird.
But so like when I look at this stuff, none of this does anything for me. And, like you, if I asked just, random people, hey, would you wear this? They'd be like, what is this? Like,
what is weird? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, all this being said, the early reviews out on this are that it looks that it's better than the first one by leaps and bounds, and that the visuals are incredible, and that's the early reviews. I mean, we don't have real reviews yet, and we probably won't until a couple days before it comes out. But it seems like it's going to get great reviews, right? Like, and I mean, we'll have to see. I'll be really interested. So I'm not going to go watch it though. I'm not going to. I don't go see movies I want to see in the theaters for a variety of reasons.
I'm not running out to see this either. But I guess the whole thing is everyone's saying, well, the visuals are going to be top notch. It's like, I don't like everything else. Like whether it's games or movies or anything, I don't go just for the visuals.
Sure.
Like there has, like, if the story sucks, if if it's not done,
if it's not done well, right?
And the thing is, I hate to say it, but I feel, sorry, I'm going to soapbox about this. I feel like James Cameron is a little too high on himself some days.
Oh, for sure.
Like just listening to the way he talks and the way that he's
that
selling
interview
this.
Recently with him was so ridiculous.
Yeah, he seems so detached from reality and what people are actually into that it's like, he's like, but I made Avatar, and it's like, yeah, so like,
yeah, he literally said, like, if you're going to complain about it being 3 hours long, he's like, go to the bathroom in the middle of it. You'll just go see it again or something like that. Or like, it's like, I don't care if you don't like it or not. I really don't care. Which, I mean, I guess if you're James Cameron at this point, you can say stuff like that, because he hasn't made a movie since this. I mean, it's, it's the last one. So
I guess it would be like, anybody, or like Harry Potter, right? If they said with Harry Potter, like the director came out and was like, I don't care if you like this, I'm making, my own like indie film of Harry Potter, deal with it.
Yeah.
Like you said, most other people would turn around and be like, okay, dude, like, bye. I'm not,
it's James Cameron. That's what he can do, man. He's allowed to do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but I guess at the end of the day, it's, great. Your movie looks amazing, but if it's, everyone always, calls out Avatar for being just, Pocahontas with blue people. If this is, I think there was a Pocahontas too, wasn't there? And it was like direct to VHS.
Was it direct to video? That was when they were doing all the direct to VHS things back when Chapek was running the VHS strategy.
So if this turns out the same way, I mean, yeah.
I don't know. I did see somebody tweet. I mean, a lot of the tweets around it were like, never count out James Cameron kind of thing, or I can't believe I doubted James Cameron, and then I saw some people say that it has one of the best action sequences they've ever seen in a movie. So I'm like, okay. I mean, I'll probably check it out maybe when it gets to Disney Plus, but I'm not going to probably check it out before that. Like, I'm not going to go to the theater to see it. Although this does feel like the kind of movie that you need to see in the movie theater. But everybody said that about like Top Gun Maverick, which I watched at home and I thought was fine at home. Like maybe it would have been cooler in the theater. I don't know, but
you know what? No, the thing is like, and Damon's not here to say this, but I know he would say this too.
Yeah.
There's, things have changed. It's like going to a movie theater in my area, the only advantage a movie theater gets you is that they have reclining seats, which even in my house, I have a recliner. Like I can sit like exactly. And but the sound experience, like, we have sound bars now. You have like good audio in your house. You have, your TVs are in 4K. So you're getting the same. Honestly, I feel, TVs actually give a better quality picture than projectors do. Because, some movie theaters, they don't keep their projectors up to date. And there's a whole technical discussion around, how long bulbs last and stuff. So, depending on which theater you go to, you may not get the optimal experience for something like this. So saying, you got to go see this in theaters, I don't buy that anymore. Like I feel I can watch it on my couch just as comfortably, probably even more so. And I also have the advantage of not having to, back to our discussion of, phones on rides is, there's always that one person that, can't put their phone down for an entire movie.
Oh man, I hate the movie theater experience for that kind of stuff, man. I can't stand when people are talking. I can't or being obnoxious. Like, oh, I hate that. I really do. I don't like going to the theater because of that. And people literally people ruin the experience.
So, and that all feeds into, why do I need to go see this movie in theaters? Like you said, it can come out on Disney Plus and I can watch it on my terms. Yeah. And decide if it's actually, the best movie ever.
Well, and at 3 hours, if I need to take a bathroom break at an hour and a half, because I probably would, I can pause it. I almost feel like a movie that long, you need to have an intermission, right? Like you need to have a 10-minute intermission.
Or do it like Stranger Things and just make it into episodes instead of trying to sell me on it needs to be a movie.
Yeah,
because really,
Stranger Things is basically like an 8-hour movie, right? It
was. It was like watching like half of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, listen, I'm don't want to. If I'm sure there are people in our audience that enjoy Avatar, I'm not trying to say anything bad about the Avatar fandom. Yeah,
I don't mind the first movie, and I guess this is the thing is, I liked the first movie. I like. Flight of Passage as a ride. I don't mind the whole, idea of Avatar, but I feel like it's being oversold a little bit.
Sure.
So
that's being marketed like crazy. But I mean, they also spent, I think I read somewhere that basically they need to be the highest grossing movie of all time again in order to just break even on this movie. Like there's almost no chance that they're going to actually make money on this movie.
That to me is just ridiculous. Bonkers. I can't. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's how it is though. I mean, even not to go outside of Disney, but that Black Adam movie with The Rock, I don't know, 400
flopped,
million. Yeah, but it technically flopped. Even though it made $400 million, apparently they're potentially losing money or making very little.
They did make back the money that they put into marketing and production and all that stuff. So.
It's just hard to have those blockbusters nowadays because it's like you said, things have changed, right? And there are very few experiences that bring people to the theaters anymore. So, I not to go back to Top Gun, but I wanted to go see Top Gun in the theaters. I just didn't get a chance to, didn't get a chance to. So I watched it at home, and it was great at home. And I'm sure I probably was also great in the theater too.
I hate to say it, but I think this is why the whole blockbuster at the theater thing is kind of becoming a relic the same way that the movie or not the movie, the store / show Blockbuster, has become a relic.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Netflix does so well and why shows on Netflix do so well. They don't make money per viewing of a show, or well, they do, but not in it's not like, oh, these people paid, $20 a head to watch the show.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
but somehow Netflix is still making money hand over fist on their stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. The whole, and this is where, going back to James Cameron and, his kind of way of thinking, it's this may not work out the way you think it will because, people are going to wait for it to go to streaming services instead of watching in the theater now.
Well, I also
that kind of invalidates his whole plan, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is like a problem I've had lately too. Just like where there are like directors that I like and respect, like the Scorsese's and Tarantino recently too, that are just like trashing Marvel movies, right? And it's like as like not being cinema or whatever. And like I think Tarantino said that that the movie stars in the Marvel movies are not movie stars, and I just like, which is a ridiculous take. I mean, come on,
yeah,
but like this is, you're talking about being out of touch. Like, yeah, these are the biggest movies that are out now, or these movies. Like, are you just mad that these are what the biggest movies are? Like, I mean, I guess as a fan of the Marvel movies, I feel slightly offended. Like, it's like questioning my taste. Like, I can watch like a art film, but like sometimes I want to just watch Iron Man blow something up. Like, why do I need to like feel bad about that?
This is all summed up with that meme it's a quote from a Simpsons episode where Principal Skinner says, could it be that I'm the one who's wrong? No, it's the children.
No, like, it's the children. Yes, that's exactly.
Yeah, like this is exactly like, just post that meme. That's what this is when we're talking about these directors and criticizing other people's Marvel, whatever. Like it's subjective at the end of the day. You can say, well, that this made more money, that made more money. Yeah, well, there is popularity, there is marketing and all that, but it is also subjective. And the funny thing is, I've been seeing a lot lately where people have been going back and finding shows that when they initially release, like this is how you get weird cult classics. Actually, Hocus Pocus is a good example of that.
Oh, Hocus Pocus is a great example.
In Disney's, when it originally came out, it did not have the impact, or it was
did
not
very poorly in theaters, got badly reviewed,
and now that it's become part of Disney. It's become part of just it's a Halloween movie, right? Yeah, it's pop culture at this point. It came back around, and it didn't hit until many years later. So this whole idea of focusing on box office weekends and all that stuff, like the world changed. You got to stop thinking like that. And some of these directors are kind of showing their age a little bit.
Well, and I mean, to say that like a Marvel movie can't elicit like an emotional response, right? That they're just things blowing up. I mean, I saw Endgame in like the theaters, and like there was a theater full of people crying in that movie. Like it's and both of the movies, in Infinity War and Endgame. Like, so don't like there's substance to these movies. Like, and it almost makes me think they haven't seen them. You know what I mean? Like they haven't even bothered to watch because they just hate. Right? Like, so it's like, just how about you watch one?
My wife was upset about Spider-Man for like months after that one scene.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, even the last Spider-Man movie, there was a lot of there was a lot of stuff in that one. I mean, like
there's moments, right?
Yeah, like, that's last Spider-Man movie was devastating in parts of it, right? I mean, so like, listen, it's just, you don't see them going out there and criticizing like the John Wicks of the world, which is just a straight up action movie. Like they're not talking about those. They just go after the ones that are these high grossing. They're just, it's something about superheroes that makes them mad. I don't know.
You don't mess with John Wick. I mean, that's
of course not. Yeah, of course you don't mess with John Wick. But anyway, so we kind of talked about a little bit. You're back on track. Yeah.
I don't even know where we are anymore.
I want to go. Are we
done talking about Avatar?
Or? Yeah, I want to go through these next two topics quick because I do want to talk about all this Disneyland stuff that's out there, and we're getting really late already. So, the DuckTales World Showcase Adventure game, which was like announced, I feel like 3 years ago, is finally coming to the Play Disney Parks app. This is really the replacement for Agent P's World Showcase Adventure. The Phineas and Ferb game, which was discontinued again, like I feel like 2020 or 2019. It's been a while.
2020,
yeah, something like that. So, this is going to be like a game where you walk around the park, and again, it's something to appeal to kids with Epcot, and so the guests will help the DuckTales crew defeat dastardly villains and recover the lost 7 plunders of the world on an amazing adventure that spans the globe. So. Really, and this is now going to be done with the Play Disney Parks app. So, I think this is a good addition. I don't think this is a bad thing. I understand Damon's point about it being too late, but I mean, I think DuckTales is one of those things that has, it continues, even though this is based on the new series that's already over. They're looking at things now. It's like, oh, well, that show is forever on Disney Plus. So to your point, Trevor, while it got canceled and maybe wasn't like picked up by the youth, maybe it will be in a couple years. Like it's because these things are always available on demand now. It's like things can get popular all of a sudden that they weren't before. But not to say that DuckTales wasn't popular. It is, but I'm saying it doesn't matter that it's over. I think.
Yeah, and I guess so. Yeah, to your point, like this to me is in the same vein as the previous Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom game, where
sure.
you go around with the cards, or the pirate adventure game in Adventureland. This is the same thing. Like it's good in that it's a something with the kids. You load up the app. It's especially with Epcot, like World Showcase, for younger kids, I get that it's, World Showcase can be a bit of a hard sell because like, even with my son, the first time we took him, we kind of walked past a lot of the pavilions and it was very like, okay, great. Like, you can stop and get food here, but what is this? Right. So,
I mean, even in like my younger 20s or like, I don't think I appreciated it like I do now. You know what I mean? Like it's just, it's there's not a lot to do. It's more of, absorbing the culture and like, there's it's stuff you don't appreciate, I feel like, until you're older.
Well, I mean, yes and no. Like even my son at my son's age, like from when he was like 10 to, now 14, like we actually like stopped and watched the Taiko Drummers on our last trip. And like, right. But the thing is, when he was younger, he didn't get it. He didn't know why it was interesting. And so, like you say, no, it's Epcot in and of itself, or World Showcase specifically, it doesn't lend itself to a younger audience. So, something like this DuckTales, World Adventure thing, or even, the previous Phineas and Ferb, totally on board with it because it's targeted at, families or people. And again, just to be clear, I'm not saying it's just for kids because, I've done these things myself. I enjoy them. I don't care. Like, I could be 60 years old and go do this. I don't care.
I agree.
So, that's the first thing, but, it does offer something that younger guests can enjoy in an area that is not necessarily, accessible for them all the time. Right.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. To Damon's point though, I feel like there may be a little bit of a curse on Epcot or World Showcase for this kind of stuff, because the Phineas and Ferb stuff kind of came on the tail end of Phineas and Ferb as well.
It did,
right.
Yeah.
And this is the same thing, is it's like, it came on the tail end of DuckTales. And, it seems like a little bit of, kind of dragging on an IP that, like you said, it's done, but, people can go back and watch it. But it's almost like, if the people running the shows talked with the park people a little more regularly, these things could get out in a phase where the show is a little more relevant.
Yeah.
And the hard part is that, Disney is good at cycling shows. Shows do move in and out of popularity. And, I think we've all said at various points where it's like, hey, my current favorite show, whatever show it happens to be, it's like, I wish they had some representation of it in the park. And it always feels bad when, something that, at this point, I watched DuckTales, but that feels like it was eons ago at this point, because there's been other new shows that I've watched since then. There's been other IPs that I've been interested in. And when I go back to the parks, and it's like, you're kind of like, you're hyped for whatever the current thing is. And when you get there and it's like, oh, here's this, show that it's like, I already watched all that. I'm done. Like mentally, I'm done with it.
Yeah.
So, why would I, from being passionate about an IP, why would I do that? Right. Yeah. Or why would I go after something that I was already done with? And that's where the whole World Showcase show thing, I feel Disney would actually do themselves a better favor if they didn't tie it to a specific IP anymore, or if they did it in such a way that like like it shouldn't
like
be
an original kind of thing.
Yeah. Again, kind of like they did Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom, where it was its own thing. The Pirates Adventure, again, they're their own thing, and they're not tied to like, or they can be tied to the IP, but not in a way that it's like, the current generation DuckTales, right? Like it almost needs to be just like almost like Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom, where it's just like, you have like an anchor character, like in that case it was like Merlin, right? But you have a character that kind of runs it, but the story itself is like, it doesn't exist in a particular world necessarily.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, so yeah, I just feel like Disney's kind of good at cursing themselves with like, hey, we got this great thing that's everyone's excited about. Well, let's bring it into the parks. And it's like, we brought it into the parks, but it's like, you're 2 years too late.
Well, truthfully,
right?
if Frozen hadn't had the cultural staying power that it's had, and the second movie that was just as popular as the first, it's like, then they brought that Frozen ride in like a couple years after the movie was already gone, right? But I mean, it's obviously it is kind of Frozen is something that's in is in the pop culture, and it's like even if they don't make anything else with Frozen ever again, like it's still going to be a thing, for a while. So.
On the flip side, it took them 20 years to get Little Mermaid into the parks.
Yeah, and a lot longer to get Mickey into the parks. So
So I mean, Disney's not good at doing that. Like they're not good at, but I get it.
Striking while the iron's hot. It takes a long time though to develop this stuff. That's why, like, I understand it, right? Like it takes time,
and it is a bit of a gamble too, right?
Well, they don't know what's going to be a hit, right? They didn't know Frozen was going to be a hit. I mean, they didn't know. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff. They don't know. I mean, they think everything's going to be a hit, but you can't really go into things like that because you have no idea, right? And it would be such a waste of time and resources to build, if they had designed a Frozen ride to coincide with the movie coming out, then it's like, and then the movie bombs.
Knows. Yeah.
Like, then it's bad, this? Right? Yeah. Like, because what they used to do before, right, was like, and everybody like knows this, but it's such a stupid thing where like Splash Mountain was named Splash Mountain for the movie Splash, right? Like to promote the movie Splash, right? And it's
then
like,
they changed gears and went to Brer Rabbit.
But it's like it's so funny that that's the case, right? Like because it in no way really evokes anything about that movie, right? But they were just like, oh, we'll just name the movie that. Like, I mean, we'll name the ride that to promote the movie, but it's like. But it doesn't make any sense. Like, and the dinosaur is kind of similar, right? So like Dinosaur wasn't called Dinosaur at first. It was called, what was it, Countdown to Extinction or something like that? And that was themed to the movie that they had come out, which bombed, right? So like they don't do that kind of stuff anymore.
Yeah, we're back, a dinosaur movie or something like that. Or
it was a dinosaur animated movie, but it bombed. It bombed really hard. Like, so they just don't take those chances anymore. Like they don't want to take those chances.
Well, then I don't like. I guess the thing is Disney not taking those chances. I feel again back to specifically the World Showcase thing.
Yeah,
the fact that they keep latching on to TV IPs, I think, is not helping them because TV IPs rotate a lot quicker than movies do. Like movies become series, or you get sequels and all that, whereas like a TV show, it's like you'll get usually a couple of seasons, but then in between that there's 5 other shows that are on at the same time that are all competing for attention, and then once that show drops, like there's very few that stick in people's heads, right? Like if you like if we actually went, like I feel we could almost do like a wait list of let's go back and look at like animated Disney animated shows from like the starting from like Disney afternoons, like Chip and Dale, Gummy Bears, that kind of stuff, coming up until now. There's a whole bunch of shows that people don't even know what this is.
Sure, yeah,
I'm flipping through the catalog in my head. Dave the Barbarian. Did you watch that?
No, I did not.
I did. I know what it is because I watched a lot of these shows, but like you'll never see Dave the Barbarian merch in the park.
No, that's true. Yeah. But I mean, like there are certain things too that like go past it too, right? Like how many people know Mr. Toad's Wild Ride but have never seen the thing that Mr. Toad is in, right? Like
Wind in the Willows, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not. I mean, I think I've seen it before when I was a kid, but I don't remember anything from it. But like, I know the ride. Like,
you're right. There is a weird point where things transcend.
Yes,
like it becomes its own thing in the park, but I don't know where that point is. Like,
I would bet you that there is a big generation of people that have gone on Mr. Toad and didn't even know that there was an animated thing that he was in. Like, think that they just made it up out of nowhere, right? Like,
to be fair, the ride was made up out of nowhere because the ride actually has nothing to do with what happens.
It has nothing to do with it. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just they just don't really do stuff like this anymore, right? Like, they wait for an IP to become established and then they build the thing, right? Like, it used to be much more like, let's build a ride and then use it to promote the movie that's coming out. They just don't do that anymore.
Yeah, because it costs. It's a lot more money that way,
and it's just riskier. Like, I get it. Like, it's a lot riskier for them because you just really don't know what's going to be successful and what's not. All right, let's finish up here with some Disneyland stuff. We talked about the Genie Plus updates already. Like, I don't think there's anything else we need to talk about there. But let's talk some Disneyland. So if you're not a Disneyland person, you can just skip ahead here. So. Disneyland After Dark returns in 2023 with new Princess Night event and more. So they're doing 2 Disneyland After Dark themed events. One is Sweethearts Night, which takes place on 7 different date nights in Disneyland Park. Okay. That's an interesting way to do it. I mean, it's happening in February, so I guess they're doing like a Valentine's Day thing. All right, sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that kind of makes sense. And
it's fine. It's just
fireworks show. Yeah.
Special fireworks show, a dance at the Royal Ball hosted by Aladdin and Jasmine, a moonlight cruise on the Mark Twain Riverboat. Okay.
I do like that. Yeah, I do like the cruise on the riverboat with the live jazz ensemble. I think that's a very cool idea. Yeah,
I like that idea. Yeah, no, I do like that idea too. It's funny because relax and unwind to the sounds of island music from a Polynesian trio. That's funny. We were just talking about the music. Yeah, so that's that one. And then there's a Princess Night, which is actually only 2 nights. It's March 7th and 9th. And so this one's a pretty short one. But let's see. Receive a royal welcome at the train station with Minnie and Daisy.
Princess Minnie Mouse and Princess Daisy Duck.
With fanfare trumpeters. So are they going to do like a thing where like you're coming in and they're like, doing the fanfare thing as you walk in? So it feels like you're like a princess walking into court. Is that what they're doing here?
Or it'll be like a stage show kind of thing where
maybe
Minnie and Daisy get introduced and everyone else gets to watch.
There's a special a musical concert with Moana, Merida, and more. Okay.
Yeah.
And what else? A dance party, it looks like, with Vanellope von Schweetz. Yeah. Okay. That's fun.
Tiana jazz thing in New Orleans Square. Again.
Okay.
Kind of like that. Like that they're, this is kind of leading up to the, promoting, the changes to Splash Mountain and all that, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, listen, these sound like cool events. I'm sure we're going to hear a bunch about Disney World after our events because they did say they're bringing them back. So I'm sure we'll hear announcements of those things soon. So The other thing I had in here, though, we were just talking about this. This is funny. I forgot that this was coming up. But so Indiana Jones Adventure attraction to close for a multi-month refurbishment. And this one comes along with a rumor that they're not only going to be upgrading the ride system, but also maybe incorporating scenes from the new movie, which is what we were literally just talking about. Now, we don't know if that's the case or not. They have not announced that. So, but the film is the refurbishment is ending around the same time as the movie coming out.
Yeah. So, yeah, kind of, I get the feeling, anything that they would include that is Dial of Destiny, this will probably... so what they did, and I guess, you never saw this.
I haven't.
On Pirates of the Caribbean, what they did was when the sequel movies came out, they added Davy Jones and Blackbeard into
the ride. They did that at Disney World too. I mean, Disney World has Captain Jack.
Did they? Because I never saw that in Disney World.
Disney World has Captain Jack in it. Yeah.
No, not Captain Jack. Davy Jones and Blackbeard.
Oh, no. I don't think so.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So what they did was they had a machine that had there earlier on the ride. There's a fog screen, so it's just like pouring fog down like a waterfall almost, and they were projecting Davy Jones and Blackbeard onto the fog. So again, it wasn't like adding in another animatronic or anything, but they had these projections of the characters from the movie, which is a pretty low budget way of adding it in. Yeah. Which and the thing about Indiana Jones is that they do utilize projections at the beginning of the ride. When you go into the Chamber of Mara, they're depending on which, because there's technically 3 versions of it, and they used to have like the doors would move to represent that, and they changed it to a projection thing. I could see them doing something where they add in another projection to that kind of ties into the Dial of Destiny, but it's still the Chamber of Mara in the ride. I wouldn't expect like later in the ride that they would be like, oh, here's a scene from the movie or something like that. Like I get the feeling, if they, when they say they're going to add in things, usually Disney, like they will try and figure out how to do it with the least amount of technical impact, which usually results in projections.
Well, and the least amount of permanency, right? Like, because like we talked about, like if the movie bombs, which it probably won't, I think the hype is pretty big for Indiana Jones right now. But if for some reason the movie doesn't do well, they can always take it out, right? Like they just be like, oh, it was always meant to be a temporary thing, like if they build a new animatronic from one of the characters from the new movie, then we're that's a problem, right? Like because the movie doesn't do well. But I mean, it'd be great if they did, that'd be cool.
Yeah, it would be funny if they did a throwback to the fridge scene from Crystal Skull.
Yeah, that would be funny.
Yeah. I was thinking, I'm like, it couldn't be any worse than the fridge scene. Like,
the new movie. That's true.
Yeah.
I have to say the trailer they put out looks really good. I am excited for this movie. It looks interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
So the last 2 things we have are 2 rumors. One is that, and these are both from WDWNT, so please grain of salt. Although I will say the Baymax one seems pretty legit. So Paint the Night Electrical Parade may return to Disneyland Resort in 2023, which just makes me mad that Disney World has been without a nighttime parade for so long. It's like, come on. Mm-hmm. Like, why does Disneyland keep getting these nighttime parades? Give me a nighttime parade at Disney World.
Well, you just need to plan a trip to Disneyland and go watch Paint the Night, and then you'll understand.
Well, but it also, I mean, it's interesting to me too, because that other parade is coming back too, and there's a nighttime portion of that one. So are they going to do 2 nighttime parades? Is that what we're going to have?
Yeah. There's Main Street Electrical Parade.
Well, that ended though. Main Street Electrical Parade ended. This is Magic Happens. Is coming back next year. Yeah, and that has a nighttime portion to it. So like the daytime and a nighttime. Like, so what? So now Disneyland / California Adventure are going to have two nighttime parades, and I get none.
Yep.
Just mad about it. Give me one. Just give me one. I'm okay with one. Hey, maybe now that they retired the Main Street Electrical Parade for the 100th time, then maybe they'll bring it back to Disney World again. I don't know.
I mean, to be fair, Disney World gets the holiday parades, both the Halloween and Christmas nighttime parade.
I want a permanent parade, Trevor.
No, don't whatever that. Those parades are amazing. You have to admit they are amazing. But,
do they not have don't they have holiday parades at Disneyland? No,
they do, but I don't think they get quite the same
not as good
hype as the Disney World one. They do they run them during the parties, but I feel the parties are a lot more prevalent in Disney World.
My favorite part of this rumor, by the way, is that rumors say that a return was supposed to be intended for the D23 Expo, but at the time the costumes weren't working. Which, feels about right.
Those costumes are very technical.
They are, yeah. And this article also mentioned that, the original run of Paint the Night was kind of a challenge because the costumes were, I guess, uncomfortable and causing injuries to some of the cast members. So
heavy and a lot of electrical pieces that weren't necessarily secured properly.
Well, listen, the battery technology has improved over the past 5 years. I'm sure they can probably get better batteries and stuff like it. Does say they're redesigning all of the stuff for this. So, which, maybe the costumes will be better. But the second rumor here is that Baymax will fly over Sleeping Beauty Castle for the new Wondrous Journeys Fireworks Spectacular at Disneyland. why I said this one's more legit is there's an actual picture of a full Baymax figure that is staged behind the castle, which I'm assuming is because they're testing it or at night, after the park is closed or whatever. But this is pretty cool. I have to say that they have a full Baymax figure that's going to do this.
So the interesting, I see the picture you're looking at. I was when I initially heard Baymax, I was thinking of like Marshmallow Baymax.
Oh, not flying Baymax.
Not like the armored Baymax. Yeah. I was thinking like just like he's just gonna like float over the thing, which I think that would be far funnier if they did that, or
if they just had like a big balloon of Baymax floating over the castle. Yeah, that'd be kind of funny.
The funny thing about this is that this is also like this looks like a not an animatronic, but like something a little more stationary than because like with the when Tinkerbell flies over, that's an actress,
an actual person,
doing stuff. Yeah.
This like an animatronic or something.
Yeah. It feels like it'll be, it may just be posed and like running along a zip line and that's it. Maybe
that's what I'm assuming.
Maybe an animatronic. I guess they could, use the technology from the Spider-Man swinging thing, right? So
they could do
after that brutal crash he had.
they actually didn't. I think they made a joke about that at D23. I don't know if we talked about that, but they like made a joke, I think, about that whole thing. But
where he slammed into the side of the building.
yeah. I mean, it happens, right? But that would be cool if they could do that. If they could make him do different poses, that would make it even cooler.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool idea. I guess. It makes sense. Like the Tinkerbell thing is very classic, but I think this is a good way. Disneyland, they're pushing. They're redoing
Pacific Wharf.
Pacific Wharf into San Francisco.
Good way to promote
6.
It.
Yeah. So this is a good way to like cross promote that and really get people's head back into Big Hero 6, which. I really like Big Hero 6 and I feel like it doesn't get enough recognition, but I also understand why it doesn't. And this may be,
I agree.
Yeah. Back to our previous discussion, I feel like, this may be a slow burn thing by Disney where, they're kind of getting it. It may not hype up for, this time around, but it may be in a couple of years that people are like, oh yeah, Big Hero 6, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, Big Hero 6 is extraordinarily underrated, and I feel like a lot of people have not watched that movie, and they should because it is great. And they have a series out too, actually, which I have not watched the series, but I do.
Well, there's actually 2 series out.
That's right. You're right. There is,
because there's the actual Big Hero 6 cartoon, and then there's a Baymax cartoon.
That's right. All right, well, let's wrap it up. This is a long episode. I thought this was going to be a short episode, and I know it's a running joke amongst us that every time I think it's a short episode, it ends up being a long one. But
do you know what I feel it was this time? Is that we really haven't had a good opportunity to have an episode like this in a while because of the live show, and then prior to this with Thanksgiving and everything, it seems like we had a bit of a gap where we didn't really sit down and talk about this kind of stuff.
That's true,
right?
That's true.
So. So I'm good with that. But yeah, I guess to wrap it up, we'll start with, if you ever want to reach us, you can find us at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com. We love hearing your guys' trip reports. We get questions through there. You can always find us there. If you'd rather find us on social media, you can go to Facebook and YouTube and find us as Welcome Home Podcast. You can follow us for whenever you want to see episodes come out. On Facebook, you can also join the group, which is Welcome Home Disney Waitlist, to talk with a lot of the other listeners and get in conversations with us as well. You can also check out our Instagram, which is Welcome Home Pics. That also mirrors a lot of what we post on Facebook, and when we go to the parks, you'll see stuff there. So probably a good place to follow if you're interested in whenever we do trips to the parks, which are happening more frequently now. We're getting back into all of us are going a lot more. So I would keep an eye on that. And I will mention once again, store.welcomehomepodcast.com. As Damon mentioned at the beginning of the episode, we have our shirts up there, the Haunted Universe of Energy shirts that we did. those are going to be running up until the 15th. So if you want one of those shirts, make sure you grab it before the end of this week, because it's coming up quick.
I believe you can still get them for Christmas if you order before the end of the week. So
yeah, should be okay. From our provider, but yeah, make sure if you guys are on the fence about one of those shirts, this is the last chance to get them, and then after that, we will be looking at the next shirt, which we haven't,
we've got a couple concepts in mind.
But,
yeah, we got to figure out what that's going to be. So
yeah, but and then outside of that, there is also our standard Welcome Home podcast merch. So if you'd like to help support the show and support us doing things like making shirts, you can always just grab something from there. It doesn't have to be necessarily the new shirt. Also, in the same vein of helping support the podcast, you can check out our Patreon, which is patreon.com/welcomehomepod, which has exclusive Patreon only merchandise, and will get you access to the Discord server, which is another place that we talk with our fans that is a little more intimate. But make sure you check that out if you like Discord. I guess I think I'm on Discord more than I'm on Facebook at this point. But I think that's just me. But so we try to offer up as many platforms as we can for people to talk with us.
Yeah.
Last but not least, if you're listening to us on iTunes or Spotify, leave us a 5-star review. It helps more people find the podcast. And if you would like to leave us a review, we do enjoy seeing those. I don't know if we've had any.
I don't have any right now.
Ones.
I read one on the live stream. I don't have one outside of that. So
and that's fine. Like we said, we're hitting that time of year. Everyone's thinking about Christmas, which is fair. Yeah. So, enjoy your time off, whatever. But if you haven't yet, consider leaving us a review, because it just does help the podcast get to more people.
Yeah, and just to plug too, if you want to watch our live stream from last week, there are replays on Facebook and on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. So go check those out. I saw somebody mention that there were so many visual references that we made, which I tried to explain visual references, but there are a lot of visual things that do happen on the live stream. So go check it out on the YouTube channel or on Facebook. Either one you can watch on there. So. And, of course, don't forget to subscribe to Welcome Home Podcast so you can be reminded every time we release a new episode. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, just about any podcast app out there you can find us. Just a reminder to our listeners, Welcome Home Podcast is for entertainment only. We are not employed by the Walt Disney Company. And as such, all opinions we express on the show are our own. So please consult a DVC representative, Disney cast member for more information about anything we talked about today. A huge thank you to our sponsors, Monera Financial, and of course, World of DVC, for sponsoring this episode and continuing to be supporters of the show. Join us next time for more Disney Parks discussion. Of course, more DVC talk. We hope to see you all real soon.
This is Skipper Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, signing off from Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Do a huddle when we hit a chair. How she can cuddle is no man's affair. I looked around from pole to pole, found her in a sugar bowl.